Hi, my name is Felipe Costa. I'm here today to teach my second application. On this app, we're gonna focus on rules of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I want to remind you that I'm not official referee from the Confederation, so I'm gonna be giving you explanations based on my experience as a competitor, as a fighter who has been doing this for over 20 years. If you wanna go over the specific details about the rules, I highly recommend you to look for the Confederation. They offer regular courses, and you should take one. It's gonna help you a lot. And you can consider this app as an introduction to give you a better understanding. A lot of my students, when I travel abroad, they have been asking me to explain them the rules, and many times we spent 1-2 days talking about this. So I found this solution so everybody can have access to this information. And for sure, knowing the rules will make your performance get better. I'm gonna start to explain the point system, and the first aspect I'm gonna cover is the takedown. Here today I'm gonna have the help of Tuomas from Finland. And to start with the takedown, you have to remember the takedowns are worth 2 points, okay? Usually, the techniques in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have to hold 3 seconds to get these 2 points. But in the takedown specifically, if the person falls on his back, which would be this situation, for example, turning, boom, he falls on his back. Even if he stand up, he rolls, whatever happens, that's already 2 points. I don't have to hold him down to be awarded these 2 points. The other situation is when I do takedown that he falls sideways. Boom. Was not what would be considered like an ippon in judo, but he fell sideways. Even if he roll, something happened, I get those 2 points right away. There is no need to hold the guy down, okay? But there are other takedowns that goes differently. Then on this case, when he doesn't fall on his back, he falls more sitting down on his butt or sideways, but not on the back, on the hips. Then you have to hold the guy for 2 seconds. Let's say I do a single leg where I put him down and he's struggling to come up. On this case, I need to keep him for the 3 seconds. After I get my points, if he stands up, then I have already my 2 points. Then it's no problem, okay? Another situation that might happen, and remember, I'm giving you one example, so it doesn't mean it has to be this takedown. It's whatever takedown the guy falls on the back. It's whatever takedown he falls on the side. Whatever takedowns he falls with his hips, his butt on the ground, okay? I'm just giving one example because it would be impossible to cover all the situations. So one more example here. If I manage to go to his back, and over here, of course, there is no points, but if I manage to put him down on his knees, okay? If he have both knees or even only one knee on the ground, and I keep him down for the 3 seconds, I will get my 2 points as a takedown, okay? So this is pretty much the aspects of the 2 points, and I'm gonna go over later on the application on specific situations. So for you to get the 2 points of takedown, you have to throw and make him land on his back flat, on his back sideways. Then you get immediately your 2 points. If you do a double leg, a single leg, or any throw that he falls on his butt or on the hips, you have to hold him for 3 seconds before he stand up. So then you're gonna be awarded your 2 points. Okay, so now I'm gonna show some specific situations for takedown. Some common situations that come on my head, and I'm gonna be explaining as we go. So we're gonna start on the situation here where I know my opponent is going to pull guard, and as a strategy, I plan on, as he's coming, to reach for his legs. If I manage to control his legs as he's pulling guard or a little bit before, I will get 2 points for this. On the book of the rules, they say the referee can give you 2 points for that, or advantage, okay? But from my experience as a competitor, I can tell you that the referee will either give you 2 points or nothing. He will give you the 2 points if he gets the impression that you actually touch the leg and grab the leg before he pull guard. And he won't give you nothing if he thinks the guy was faster than you and pull guard first. Another situation very similar to this is when you have the grips and the person goes to pull and you hit and catch the foot as he's pulling. It can be from contact like this, or it can even be when it's a little bit aware. Boom. If you fast enough and it's almost like you acting, but if you make it look like you really took the guy down, the referee is gonna give you the 2 points. Now this situation, let's imagine this is the end of the mat, okay? This is going out of bounds. If I start a takedown with both legs inside and project him outside, so let's say the situation here, he's coming, I turn, and we go out of bounds, boom. The referee will give me the 2 points because he started inside, okay? If we fall in established position, we're gonna go back on the same position. If we fall in a scramble, he's gonna bring us back to the center of the mat, standing up to restart. A lot of judo players, they use this strategy to avoid a little bit the ground fighting, so they always fight in the edge of the mat. Okay, so let's imagine I'm fighting over here and I manage to make a grip on his pants, okay? If my opponent at this moment, he sits and pull guard, even though I didn't really took him down, I will be awarded my 2 points, okay? Because the referee will see this as he is avoiding the fight, okay? Would be the same as me getting the leg, and for him not to get smashed on the ground, he sits to play guard. So he's accepting that he was going to fall. This is more or less the logic that they follow. So when somebody has the grip, either if the leg's not hanging, if it's here, it's more obvious. But even if it's like this, and he sits, I get the 2 points. So this might be, if you're a guy who plays more top game, this might be a strategy. When you start, you already do this. So you're forcing the guy to, if he decides to pull guard, to lose 2 points right away. You start with 2 points ahead with little effort. Okay, so imagine now I have this situation, and instead of sitting to play guard, he jumps close guard. So go ahead, boom. If I stay here too long, I will not get my 2 points. So if that happens, right away you have to put him down, hold him for 3 seconds to award the points. And obviously, because he didn't fall on his back, on when I'm holding, he's a little bit more on his butt, then you have to hold for the 3 seconds. Okay, now, on this situation, the guy, he goes, and again, I'm illustrating a couple options, but, you know, just to give you an idea, it doesn't have to be exactly like this, okay? The guy is starting to try to take me down for, yes, a single leg. I'm going to hold, and I'm not gonna wait him to put me down, I'm gonna do a counter attack. So imagine I'm holding, I put the hook, I jump in, boom. Fall on top, hold him for 3 seconds. I will get the 2 points because he didn't put me down. I took the motion to take him down. So that gives me 2 points. Okay, now it's the situation, again, specific case. The guy gets the single leg. I'm close to the outside of the mat. And what I do is I try to jump outside and we go out of bounds. What's gonna happen is the referee will bring you back to the mat and he will give to your opponent the 2 points because you're running away from the mat with a technique already in place. So you're not allowed to do this. But from a strategy point of view, what you might do is instead of just run away, you might get close to the limit and then turn. And now you push your opponent out. If he's the one going backwards with your leg, When you come back, he will not give the 2 points, only the advantage. So that might be something for you to remember. Instead of jumping out, push him out like this, because the referee will understand you're defending yourself, because your defense, one of the defense would be to put your weight on the ground. So if I'm trying to do this and he's going back and we go out of bounds, I'm not running from the fight. So it might be a good strategy if you want. Now we're gonna cover the guard pass, okay? When you pass the guard, you get awarded 3 points. But as I mentioned before, for you to get these 3 points, you have to hold your opponent for 3 seconds, okay? So I'm gonna go over some common situations over here. Go ahead, jump guard. The guy jumps guard, we fall. I start to do my techniques to open. Now, I'm on his guard. Doesn't matter if I'm on the close, if I'm open, half guard. For me to get my points, I need to get past his legs. His legs or his guard. So whatever position we make. Let's say I'm crossing here, I'm coming, and I get side control. When I get the side control, if I'm on the side, hold 3 seconds, I get 3 points. If perhaps I'm passing over here, he's scrambling with the legs, but I manage to put him, and I end up in the north-south position. Holding him, I also get the 3 points. If he is sideways, but his legs are not blocking me, he's just staying sideways over here. If I hold him for the 3 seconds, I'll get the points. Let me turn this way a little bit. Notice, his legs are not on my way. I'm past. It's something else if he has this leg, if he has the top leg, then I won't get my points. But if I'm completely past this, that's a good measure for you to remember. Then you get your 3 points. Okay, also, situation that might happen. You're inside, you're starting to pass the guard, you're trying to establish the guy turning to the knees, and you don't control him on his back. You will get no points. It's not considered a guard pass, okay? So for this to be a guard pass, you would have to, in this process, to hold him. Even if he's sideways like this, you still get your points. If you hold him, also, you get your 3 points for the pass. No problem, okay? Sideways as well. If he turns, you have not passed his guard, okay? Of course, you can still attack, but it's something else. Okay, now we're gonna work the knee on the belly. When you put the knee on the belly, you get 2 points, okay? They call the knee on the belly, but it can be shin on the belly, knee on the chest, knee on the ribs, whatever situation you get here. The most classic is this, come up, the other leg up. It's very important that this leg comes up, okay? If you just do this, you get no points. What's important is to have your knee on the belly and to have the leg up, okay? If you have this posture, that grip, it doesn't matter. What they're counting is this. I also see a lot of people thinking that you need to have your foot off the ground. That's not a reality. I have fought many times situations where I get here and I even do this as a little bit of strategy. I position myself closer to the head, bring the knee, and I do this. And I just to get my points, I barely come up. And notice over here how my foot is touching the ground. I get my points, and then I restart or go for the mount. That's something else. Okay? Now, you will not get points if you have your knee on the ground, and you will not get points if you're facing the legs. You will not get points if you do this. Knee on the belly facing the legs. And also if you do this and you know me, pretend you don't know me because I'm gonna feel embarrassed. As well, I'm coming here, I'm going, he turns a little bit sideways, I still get my points. It's no problem, okay? I'm continuing here. This is considered. So like I said, knee on the belly, knee on the chest, knee on the ribs. You get points. If it happens that he turned to the turtle position and I do this, now it's no points because then it's too much. It has to be rib. If it gets past, it goes on the back, it's no points. You will not get any points for that. Okay, now we're gonna cover the mount. When you mount, you're gonna get 4 points. Okay, it's one of the most superior positions you can get, so they're gonna give you 4 points for that. So, however you got here, so again, let's illustrate with that situation that I showed on the knee and the belly. You have here, contour, boom, then you mount. Okay, the classic mount is this, the most common mount. You get over here, boom, 4 points. Now, let's imagine I'm still establishing and I have hooks inside. Also 4 points. Let's say when I get here, turn a little bit this way, the guy turns sideways and I do this. In reality, that's what they call the classic mount. So this also 4 points because you still mount. If I'm mounting like this, also 4 points. If one of his arms is under and I'm like this, I get my 4 points as well, okay? But if perhaps both arms are in, no points, okay? It's not considered mount. If you have one, okay, 2, no. And if you mount opposite over here, you get no points as well. You only consider points if you're facing the head, not the legs. And there is also what they call the back mount, which is very common for judo guys because they turn into their belly very often because there is no danger on the rules of judo. So let's say I'm going for the mount, or it might be for another situation, and he turns and he goes flat like this. He's not on his knees, he's like this. And if I do that, it's considered mount as well, because if you think about it, it is. It's just the fact that he's facing down, okay? If you would bring the hip up, that's something else. And I do this, of course, I'm not mount. He's in the turtle position. So he needs to be flat for you to get your 4 points for what's a back mount. Now I'm gonna explain the back take. You also get 4 points for that. The mount and taking the back with the hooks are the most superior position. So on these 2 situations, you get 4 points. So it can be from any position, but just to illustrate, imagine I'm here, the guy turns, he goes on the turtle, and I leave my hooks in, okay? Now I manage to come and turn over here. Face this way a little bit. Okay, if I have, it doesn't matter how I'm gripping over here. I might be like this, I might be here, here, you know, it doesn't matter. The most common, like this. If I have both hooks inside the thighs, that's the 4 points, okay? Now, if I cross, it's not points. If I lock, body lock, it's no points either, okay? And obviously, if you have the hook out, just one hook, it's no points. For you to get your points, you need to have both hooks in. It doesn't matter if he's facing upwards or back. If he's on the turtle position and you have your hooks over here, if you stay 3 seconds, always remember, except for the takedown, that the guy falls on the back or sideways, every other points to be awarded, you need to hold 3 seconds. Another common situation here is that as I'm attacking the guy, I go and I put, and one of his arms is trapped. That's very common when you have this, for example. I'm going for this, and he puts the arm inside, but I get here. I will get my 4 points if he has just one arm inside, okay? Well, I will not get my points if perhaps I already have one arm, and when I go for the other one, he has both. Then it's no points, because he has a big chance of just coming out and escaping. So that's not, if it's one arm, it's considered 4 points. If it's 2, it's not considered. But you expose your neck, so be careful. Now we're gonna cover the sweeps. When you make a sweep, you get awarded 2 points if you hold your opponent for 3 seconds on the bottom, okay? Very important, always. So, a few examples. Let's say I'm here, the most classic one. Sweep, scissor, hold the guy, he stayed 3 seconds down, 2 points. Let's imagine I have the hooks inside, I'm controlling. Also classic sweep, boom, get over here, 2 points, okay? Now just something that came on my head. Imagine I do the sweep, and I fall side control. What is this? 2 points. Why I don't get points for here? Because I don't get points for side control. You get points for passing the guard. So if you make a sweep and you already fall on side control, you're making just the points of the sweep. You're not passing the guard. Okay? Half guard. Okay, now imagine that he's on my half guard. Okay, I'm holding, and I just bump him. Boom. Come on top. Hold him, 3 seconds, 2 points. Now this situation here, where he passed my guard, when I'm over here, I bump him. What is this? Nothing, no points. Why is that? He was no longer in my guard. So if I'm over here, I'm fighting to establish the position, to get my 3 points. But he managed to roll. I wasn't on his guard. Look, I wasn't in between his legs. He wasn't doing guard. So it's not points for him. He's just defending himself. He gets no points. For you to get a sweep points, you have to be playing your guard. The guy has to be in between your legs somehow. Even if it's a tiny little tip of the foot, and you manage, he's almost passing, but you manage to, I don't know, flip him this way. Or even, let's say, turn and come on top. Then you get your points for the sweep. That's another good example. I'm over here, I managed to turn, come on top, over here. Even though I didn't put him down his back, I managed to come from bottom to top. So I get my 2 points over here, even if the leg is up, okay? But if I'm doing this and he stand up both legs, and we end up over here, and he managed to stand up and free himself, I don't get any points for this. Again, same situation. I'm coming here. When I come to the back, it doesn't matter, lift yourself a little bit, if I have the hook or if I don't have. What matters is that I was playing my guard, I managed to come on top, and I kept him down for the 3 seconds. Then I get my points. So that situation here, I'm already in guard. It doesn't matter if I got here because I pull or if he back up, it doesn't matter. What's important now is that I'm the one playing guard, okay? So if he takes that decision here, go ahead. He sit down and I come up, it's 2 points for me. It's considered 2 points. Why is that? Because he avoids passing my guard and decided to sit. Since I was the first one doing guard, even if it was not a beautiful sweep, a classic sweep, I get my 2 points. It's the same concept as that situation over here. When he holds my leg, I cannot avoid the stand-up fight. If I sit, he gets his 2 points. Why? Because he was already taking the action, okay? If he has my leg, and I know I'm gonna get takedown, so I sit to be safe and work, he already get the 2 points. So it's following the same logic. If I'm playing guard and he sits, even if he is going for a great sweep, doesn't matter. I already get my 2 points because I was the one playing guard first. Now let's say he's not only running away, or he's not a guy who just want to play bottom no matter what. Let's say he's actually being offensive, you know. I'm over here, I make the mistake of leaving my arm, and he decides to make an attack for the armbar, okay? Then I'm in danger here. I defend. The moment I defend, I get my 2 points because he made the choice of going down. If perhaps I tap, obviously I don't get any points. He gets the tap. And wouldn't make any sense giving me the points if I tapped already. So you're allowed to do this. You're on top, you're allowed to pull guard if you're attacking. But be aware that if it doesn't work, you're gonna lose your points. Another situation just like this, guillotine. I get over here, the guy gets the guillotine. Then we go down. As long as the head is in danger, I have no points. The moment I free, I get my points. Okay? Another very common question that I get is about the 50-50 guard. So when you're already playing on bottom, let's say any situation that you manage to get yourself on the 50-50. So imagine he passed over here, I managed to block the hip, turn my foot, and shoot myself over here, okay? When I get over here, walk this way a little bit. When I get over here, there are many positions. I'm sure you know a few. Let's say I'm putting him on the most common way, just pushing him down, okay? When I manage to put him down over here, and my legs are locked, and I'm not yet on top, I get no points for that. For me to actually get my points, I need to unlock my legs and come on top. Okay, if I do this, I will get my points. Or, of course, if I come on top, getting out of the 50-50. Let me do to this side. Okay, so again, come up. I managed to put him down, however way you do it. If you stay here, even though I'm sitting, you know, it's no points yet. For me to get my points, I need to actually come on top, unlock my legs, be safe on top over here, okay? Or, as I just mentioned, when I come on top, if I manage to take my legs, either inside or outside, and come over here. On this case, you do get your 2 points. If you hold the guy for 3 seconds, always remember this. So the fight ends following a few criteria. The first one is the submission. If you get a submission on the first minute of the fight or in the last minute, the fight is over. It doesn't matter how many points, how many advantage or penalties. Okay, so the submission is the first criteria to finish the fight. If the fight ends with no submissions, what is going to count, what's going to be the difference are the points. Whoever has scored more points over the length of the fight wins the match. When the points are even, what's going to make the difference are the advantage. Okay, so now I'm going to cover a little bit the advantage aspects. Advantage is almost something. Whenever you almost get a takedown, you almost get a guard pass, almost knee on the belly, almost mount, almost take the back, almost submit, you get an advantage, okay? But it has to be a real danger of doing whatever this situation. So I'm gonna go over a few things that comes on my head, but obviously there are so many that would be impossible to put everything in there. So common situation over here. I go for a single or a double leg. He falls down, he didn't fall on his back to get the points right away. And I didn't hold him for 3 seconds. Go ahead. 1, 2, he came out. But I almost got the 2 points. I almost got the takedown. So that would be an advantage for me. I'm going to go over the gestures later. But that's one advantage for me. It can be the situation where perhaps I do the inside movement. He falls on his butt and stand up. So I do this, he falls and stand up right away. So he didn't fall on the back, he didn't fall on the side, I didn't control him for 3 seconds. So he gets no points for that. So we're gonna do a little bit of guard pass situations now. There are some classic things that you get for the guard pass. For example, when you get half guard, and you have the guy controlled either on his back flat, that's an advantage right away. If he's a little bit sideways, but you're in good position, you know, it doesn't have to be flat on the back to get the advantage. You're already controlling, this would be. But if perhaps he's like this, that would not be advantage because it's considered that he's the one attacking, not yourself. So you don't get advantage for this, okay? And obviously, if I get over here, I almost get, but he managed to recover. If I almost pass, even I pass but didn't hold for the 3 seconds to get the points, I get advantage. Imagine I have this situation and I make him turn into the turtle position. So I force him, he turns, boom, I get advantage. Okay, situation when you're already inside control, okay? Let's say you're here, I go and start to put the knee on the belly. So I didn't bring the knee up. Remember, I get no points for that. But maybe I'm using this as 1-2 situation. 1 and 2. I was going to put the knee up, but he managed to escape first. He escaped the hip, he got here. So I would get advantage for that. As well as if I do everything properly, 1, 2, hip, boom, gets out. I do get the advantage for that. So it also counts as advantage. Okay, so again, side control. I go for the mount. I do get the mount, but 1, 2, he managed to catch my foot. Even if it's the time tip of the foot, it's no point. And I would get the advantage because I was almost mounted for a while. Would be different if I just go like this and he catch my foot. Then I didn't really put him in danger. So there is no advantage here. Another situation, I'm attacking on side control. He starts to give his back. So my intention is to take the back. I put the bottom hook first. I'm going to put the other one, he's defending. He's not letting me. And he escapes and he managed to put me back on the guard. So that would be advantage because I almost got his back. Or even if I did put my hook, imagine I put it here, I put it, 1, 2, he takes out. So I didn't establish, but I got advantage. Imagine this situation. It's last second of the fight. The fight is over, he takes the foot, I don't get my point. Even after the end, the referee can give you the advantage if it happens during the time, okay? So don't think that it's a mistake. This is correct. As long, of course, it happened during the time, he is allowed to give you after the whistle is blown. So you get advantage when you almost conquer a position, as I showed. And obviously, when you almost submit your opponent. So let's start with a basic one, armbar. So side control. Yeah, let's say I manage to get here, boom. If the guy is here, he's not really in danger of a submission. But if I manage to do this, now it's a real danger. There's a good chance I'm gonna tap him. But if he managed to escape, turn, and come out, that was a real danger for him to get tapped. So I get advantage for that. If I have a choke, okay, a real choke, but let's make the classic one to illustrate better. And he's actually defending, having trouble, you know, and the referee sees that he's feeling the pressure. Now, if the moment he escapes, you get the advantage. Also, this is very important. The referee will not give you the advantage while you still have the hold on. Because if you do tap, there's no meaning of giving the advantage. He will only give the advantage the moment the guy escapes or you release the pressure. Then he will award you the advantage. Another common situation here, the omoplata. Okay? When you get on the omoplata, just because you locked, you're not going to get the advantage. In the past, this used to be. But if you think about it, he's in an uncomfortable position, but he's not in danger of tapping. Okay? It's completely different if you manage to put the guy down, you come over here, and you're almost tapping, but he managed to roll. He managed to roll out. But he was almost tapping, you know, it was like close. Then, when he gets out, you do get your advantage. It's something else. there is a situation here that you get 2 points, but it's not really a guard pass, it's not a sweep or takedown or anything like this. It's a specific rule when the guy is attacking you, a submission, and you end up rolling out of bounds, but with no intention of running away. Your intention is to defend. And as a defense, you end up out of bounds. When that happens, let's illustrate here, very common, we see all the time. The guy goes for a toe hold, and he's going. If I stay where I am, I'm gonna tap, because my foot is in danger. So my natural, my correct movement is to roll, okay? And imagine the area out is right here, so he keeps rolling, and I roll as well. No, man, you should keep rolling this way. No, just go over my leg. No, let's start here. So a common situation is the foot lock. So let's go over here. He goes for a foot lock. If I stay here, I'm gonna tap. So what I do is I roll to defend. I'm not running away from the fight. I'm defending not to get tapped. And the out of bounds is here, but I keep rolling, see? So we went out of bounds. I didn't tap. I rolled to defend. I wasn't running away from the fight. I was defending myself. So what the referee will do is he will stop, bring you two back on the feet, and give 2 points for my opponent who was attacking my foot, okay? It might be the same situation. Imagine he has an armbar here, and we're very close to the edge. And then I turn. When I turn, we come out. He was attacking, and I wasn't running from him. I did the proper defense, and I came out, okay? So cases like this are considered 2 points for my opponent. Now, imagine this situation. Imagine this is the line, okay? He has a triangle. So, I come and I drag him out. The referee will stop the fight, bring us on the middle, and he will disqualify myself for dragging him out. I'm not allowed to do this, okay? I just gave a couple examples, but that would go for anything. If he has armbar, for example, I'm defending, and I'm bringing the guy out, running. Then, I cannot do this. Now, imagine I'm doing this. No, armbar. I'm over here, and I'm defending like this. Imagine this is the area. I'm defending. And we go out. You see the difference? I'm not running from the fight. I'm defending myself, as I would do in the middle of the mat. So he will only get 2 points for that. But if it's running away, it's disqualification. Choke, armbar, whatever it is. Also, when I'm passing the guard, I'm getting over here, okay? The guy recovers, but I'm still trying to pass. I'm only gonna get the advantage if he completely puts me back and there's no danger anymore of passing. I cannot get an advantage plus the guard pass for the same movement. Understand what I mean? So for example, if I'm getting over here, passing, he recovers, and then I do it. And then imagine that when he recovers, the referee gives me the advantage. But I'm still in the movement, and I get over here and get my 3 points. That would be a mistake. I cannot get advantage and the points for the same sequence of movements. So he would have to wait until the action changes, it stops, to give me the advantage points. Situation. Both athletes in the beginning of the fight, they pull guard. So they stay on that situation over here. The moment one of them decides to come up, the one who comes up get advantage for this, okay? So they might stay here for half an hour. The one who decides to come up, even if he comes up in a bad position, a bad situation, he gets advantage for going up. So, if you get half guard on the back, it is the advantage. But imagine the guy is coming here. Remember I said there's no advantage here? If you make the turn this way, It's what they call the reverse half guard. It's when you have your bottom leg trapped and your belly is facing up. This is no advantage. That's not considered advantage. I see a lot of people making that mistake, thinking that this is advantage. It's not. To be advantage, it has to be the other leg trapped. Whenever you fall on the reverse, rearward, even if you have great control, that's not an advantage. Okay, so imagine that I'm mounting, and the guy, he managed to do a elbow escape and put me in half guard, okay? So I should not get advantage for that. Even though I'm in half guard, I took a step back on my control. You only should get award when you progress, okay? You had a good position, you took a step back, no advantage, no points, nothing. If you were here and then you almost mount, then you would get advantage. Stepping back, never. Don't get any advantage for escaping side control, mount, nothing like this. So for example, if he's already on side control, I do escape, boom. Nothing, I only defended myself. I'm on the mount. He do the bump, boom. Nothing, because he only defended the mount. He didn't almost swept or submit or anything like this. And obviously, if you escape from a submission, even if it looked great, and if it shows that you're very brave, you get no advantage because you're defending yourself. You don't get advantage for defending yourself only when you, once again, almost do something good. I have side control, and now I'm going for the mount. 1, 2, he flips, boom. I get advantage. What does he get? Nothing. Remember, I was not on his guard, so he didn't sweep me. And you don't get advantage for escaping, for defending yourself. You only get advantage for almost doing an offensive movement. Guard, pass, submission, like I said. I'm going to talk now about all the submissions or control. They're not allowed in all the belts, okay? I'm not going to go over the juvenile and the kids rules. You can check that on the Federation website. And I'm just going to go over the adult for white, blue, purple, brown, and black. First of all, I'm going to talk about the submissions that are not allowed for any of the belts, from white to black. So one thing that is not allowed, it's when in the beginning of the fight, the guy tries the scissor takedown. People don't even teach this anymore, but it used to be very common when I first started Jiu-Jitsu. It's when you're on the sides, be a little bit sideways. I'm gonna do it in a safe way. Safe way would be to throw the leg, post your hand, and come with the other one coming down. When I first started Jiu-Jitsu, people used to do this a lot in tournaments. You can see how old I am from this. So they stopped doing because in the warm of the fight, people were just jumping. And because they're jumping, a lot of people would be injured because of this turning sideways. So they decided to forbid back then, and it's still not allowed nowadays. Another situation that is not allowed for any belt, it's any technique that twists the knee, okay? So your knees have the joints like this. Whatever make it turn like this is not allowed for any of the belts. So I'm gonna give you a few examples, but I think having this in mind makes very easy for you to understand. If you're twisting, it's not allowed, okay? The knee, if you're twisting the knee, it's not allowed. Just a personal opinion. I know a lot of people say, in black belts should be allowed, they're professional and all this. Personally, I disagree. I think it's very good that the confederation puts a rule that protects the athlete. You know, I'm very happy to have, still nowadays, my knees healthy. You know, it's enough to have shoulder injuries, back, neck, everything else. So I think it's fair that they protect our knees. Okay, so classic example. I have a foot lock here, straight foot lock, okay? If I turn outside, it's okay, because think about it. When I turn that way, he can easily turn as well. So I'm not twisting his knees, unless if he wants to. But then it's something else. We have to have limits, but not that much, you know? He has to be smart to protect himself as well. So if I have this, and I close my knee here, I'm okay, I'll tap him, no problem, no danger. If I cross and even turning to my belly, look what I'm doing. Think about the knee, not the foot. I'm turning this way. So this is allowed. I'm not putting danger the knee. Okay? So his defense would be to turn as well. And maybe tap here, I don't know. Okay? Now, imagine, turn this way a little bit. Imagine I do the opposite. Instead of turning this way, I cross, and that's the whole thing. I cross my foot this way. Okay? Even if I have it here. Okay? Even if my intention is not to hurt the knee. If I'm just putting pressure. When I cross, look what I'm doing to his knee. I'm turning this way. Okay? And now I'm not giving him the chance to just turn, because I'm forcing like this. It looks very much like the jump of the scissor sweep when you fall over here. And that's not allowed to protect the knee. Okay? And maybe you say, I'm not crossing. But if you're forcing this way, it's not allowed either, because you're just forcing this way. Okay? So these are not allowed for any of the belts. So understanding the other situation makes it easier for you to understand from here. Imagine I'm doing guard now, and I'm starting to get under him. Maybe X guard, you know. And from here, I want to make him lose the balance this way. I'm okay to push him and control. There's no pressure on his knee, either of them. But if I decide to use this to cross, now look, I'm turning. That's dangerous for him, okay? If my leg comes below the knee, I'm not turning. But if it comes over, I'm turning. So this is not allowed, okay? Now, common situation over here. If I'm just forcing the guy on the belt over here and forcing the hook, it's okay, because I'm giving him the option to turn. But if I get over here, this is not allowed anymore. When I do this pressure over here, because I'm forcing, similar to a heel hook, I'm forcing the guy. I'm not giving him the option to turn, because his foot's trapped over here. He might get hurt on the knee, okay? It's different, let me do it again, from me doing this. Look the difference. I'm giving him the option. Then I can attack, go to the back, something. So imagine we got here on the 50-50 again, okay? Now, I was showing the situation turning from outside in. Over here, no heel hooks are allowed. Obviously, why? Because whenever you apply a heel hook, either this way or that way, it's turning, it's twisting. So this obviously is not allowed. So when I get over here and I'm turning, if I'm not holding the heel, I'm okay, because he has the option to turn. But if you decide to do this, it's not going to be allowed. That's going to be a disqualification. Okay? And if the guy turns, again here, it's okay. Crossing is not okay. The toe hold, when you do this position, I'm going to talk about it. It's allowed for brown and black belt. But I'm covering now what's not allowed for any of the belts. So what is not allowed for any of the belts, it's the toe hold, but outside with the foot opening. Why is that? I'm not forcing the foot anymore. When I do inside, I'm forcing this joint. When I'm doing outside, I'm not forcing that joint. What I'm doing is twisting the knee out, like a heel hook. Like a heel hook twists out, okay? So it's not allowed to do it outside. Be very careful with this. It's not allowed to slam your opponent at any moment. So imagine he jumps guard. When I get over here, if I drop him, I will be disqualified. I need always to come. It's different if I'm over here, and for example, he's trying to take my balance, and I fall like this. That's something else. I have no intention to hit him. But if I stand up and do this, I disqualify. Same thing if he has any submission. For example, if I do this, honestly, I'm not even strong enough to do this. But you know what I mean. If I come over here and I lift the guy, boom, disqualification. Triangle, same thing. Come over here, boom, right away, disqualified for all belts. So, I'm never allowed to grab fingers alone, okay? For example, if the guy is here and I hold the whole thing, it's okay. I'm not allowed to bend, okay? If the guy is trying to attack and I do this, it's no problem. I'm not trying to twist the fingers. This is fine. But if he holds and try to open, do any kind of crazy thing like this, it's not allowed either. So, anything twisting the spine is not allowed, and neck crank. So for example, if I'm over here, I control both, and I put pressure like this is not allowed, okay? Imagine I'm on side control, and I manage to get this control here. Look, the shoulders are control, he's stuck, and the head is being forced backwards. Boom, okay? This is not allowed. If I have, for example, the technique that is called the twister, that I come, boom, over here, I turn the guy, I bring it, and do this. Again, it's not allowed. Obviously, you see what's happening here. So for safety, it's not allowed. So it's not allowed to press the finger towards the throat. So you're not allowed to hold like this, even though you might press like this, like that. You might even, perhaps somebody's trying to get in, you might push like this, but you're not allowed to squeeze and press the pipe throw or anything like this. Okay, now I'm going to cover the two techniques that are not allowed for white belts, okay? For the other belts it's allowed, for white belts it's not allowed, which is the wrist lock, okay? Whatever situation, wrist lock. When you bend and force, it might be on the ground as well, maybe over here, you force, might be trapping and forcing here. Whatever wrist lock is not allowed for white belts. Okay? Another situation that is not allowed for white belts, it's the mata-leão from the mount. So basically you have here, and you do the same thing you do if you're choking somebody, but you're forcing the head backwards. This hurts a lot, and it's not a choke. It hurts the neck. So it's not allowed for white belts. Okay, now I'm going to show the techniques that are not allowed for white, blue, and purple belts. So the biceps crunch is not allowed. Very common to lock the triangle, hold, the hand is strapped, and you bring it this way. Okay? So when I force, the person taps, this is not allowed. It can be as well, perhaps, on side control. You get trapped over here with the arm. It's very common when you sweep, and on that scramble, you come on top like this. If you keep the pressure like this, because you're forcing that way, it's not allowed either, because it's a biceps crunch. And if you do this situation, bring it and force, okay? This is not allowed. It's the calf crunch, not allowed for white, blue, and purple. And the fourth one is the toe hold. Obviously from any position, just to illustrate again, that situation. It can be from anywhere. If the guy force, go ahead. It's not allowed. Okay, only brown and black. Those are not allowed for white, blue, and purple. Also, it's not allowed the knee bar for white, blue, and purple. So, wherever, straight knee bar, not allowed. Only brown and black. So imagine I'm doing this control. I have no intention to do the bicep crunch. But then I manage to sweep the guy. When I come on top, if I just come on top, tight, even by accident, I might put this. If I give depression and he taps, I'm going to be disqualified because it's not allowed. So you have to be careful when you're doing the position. Come back again on top. Whenever he's falling, when you're coming on top, what I used to do is to lift and let go. If you don't hold the hand, the guy by instinct is going to protect himself and start to get out. So let go and let him out. And you might even try to hold, but make enough space over here so he frees the arm. That way you don't get in trouble by accident. So once again, if you ask my opinion about this, I totally agree. I think you have, this is a sport aspect of Jiu-Jitsu. You have to be safe, and I rather have my students and myself healthy and able to train for a long time than because of a stupid thing, or even in training or competition, have my students and myself staying away from training for months or even forever. I'm going to go over some of the penalties, at least the ones that I find it more important and more often in the competitions and all. You can see the full list on the website of the Confederation. To start with, when we are on the foot over here, before we engage, I'm not allowed, for example, to put one knee on the ground, okay? I'm not allowed to sit without having any control. For me to pull guard, even if I'm just sitting down, I have at least to have one grip, wherever it is. So I make one grip, sit, I'm okay. If he breaks that grip, I can still stay down. If he backs away from me, I don't have to stand up. I can stay down, and if I move forward and he keep backing up, it's his obligation to come back. He's not allowed to avoid the fight. The same way I'm not allowed to avoid the fight standing without having a grip, he's not allowed to avoid the fight on the ground if I'm already on the ground. If I took the lead to be there, even if he breaks my grip, he cannot back away from me, okay? So don't stand up. I see this a lot of times. People pull guard, the guy backs away, and they go like this, and they stand up to pull guard again. If you already succeed pulling guard, even if the guy backs away, you just follow. And if he keeps running away from you, he will be punished. Imagine the guy is getting a sweep or submission or something that he's starting to get under me, okay? As I escape, I will turn and kick my leg out. I'm allowed to do this as long as I come back right away. But if I jump out, avoiding the fight, going away, this is not allowed. So make sure when you do some kind of thing, right away you turn back. Then it's okay. I'm not allowed to just run from the fight. I see people, I don't understand why they do this. Dance, running. A lot of people do it. They think it's cool or something. You do a little bit of dance, it's okay. But to be running too much, you should be punished as well. My advice is Jiu-Jitsu, not dance. So stop with that. And there are also the penalties for stalling, which again, it's pretty much common sense. If I'm inside close guard, for example, and I'm not trying anything, I'm just staying here. If I'm holding the belt with my two hands, with no intention of progressing, it's not like I'm holding to do this and, you know, progress my movement, but I'm just holding like this, or holding like this, not trying to move. Or I pass the guard and I stay on side control for too long. I'm not really trying to get better position. Okay? If the referee sees that you're stalling for more than 20 seconds, he's going to start to punish you, to give the penalties that the rules tells. There are some minor penalties that I'm not going to go over all of them, but it's pretty much common sense. You can see the whole list in the website. But you're not allowed to put fingers on the face. You're not allowed to talk with the referee. You're not allowed, for example, when you're over here, to put your foot over here to push the guy. You're not allowed to, for example, mount. Some people, they use this to put the foot and then push. Coming out. You're not allowed to do this. So it's pretty much common sense. So the way the penalties are awarded, if you can call like this, is first there is the gesture. That's like your first call. You get informed that you're being penalized for something you're doing wrong, stalling perhaps. Then if you insist on the same fault, they're gonna give an advantage point for your opponent, advantage, and you're gonna be a negative point, signalizing the penalty. If you insist on the mistake, they're gonna stop the fight, they're gonna bring both athletes up, they're gonna give 2 points for your opponent, and another penalty for you, and the score is gonna show a -2. That means you being, there were 2 penalties that you made, okay? If you insist on the same mistake, on the next time, it's gonna be a disqualification. So they're gonna stop the fight, obviously, and give the victory to your friend by disqualifying you. Now I'm gonna go over the gestures you need to know during the fight. Those are the gestures the referee will do. To start with, he's gonna signalize going like this. That means the athlete should position themselves to start. There are only 3 words that you need to know in Portuguese that the referee uses. One of them is in the beginning of the fight when he says combate. That means fight, start the fight. So he does this gesture to start the fight. If there is an action going on, you guys are going outbound or something, or the gi is coming out, the referee wants to stop the fight, he will make this gesture following with the word parou, which means stop. So parou, usually giving emphasis. Parou. The gesture for stalling, it will be this one. The referee, for example, they're fighting on the ground, they're stalling, he's gonna do this, and he will sign who is stalling, because before he used them to be like this. He would just say lute, lute means fight, be active, lute, and he wouldn't say who was. So sometimes you wouldn't really know who was being punished. Now they have to say lute, and with the wrist they have, they show if it's the white or the color gi. The points have to be given with your arms straight, and it has to be 2, 3, or 4. You cannot do this, you cannot do this, whatever other thing. You cannot do this. You have to make it clear for the audience and for the table to see the gesture. That's how they should do. The gesture for the advantage, it's like this. On the line of the shoulder, coming, whichever person is getting the advantage. So when it happens, go like this, go like that. If the referee wants to signalize that you're being disqualified, he's going to use this gesture. He's going to go higher than his head, cross, and that's disqualification. And we raise the arm of whoever won, was not disqualified. if perhaps the referee gives certain points that right away he noticed that there was a mistake, he shouldn't have gave these points, he will make this gesture, meaning that the table should take these points back. This is very common. For example, let's say somebody is passing the guard, he's almost there, and then the referee thinks 1, 2, on the 3 seconds he thinks he's already established and he gives the points, and the person managed on the last second to recover. So he goes, take it off the points and give the advantage instead. This is the gesture he will make it when he wants you to fix the gi. So imagine you coming back from the area, your gi is open, he makes that gesture, that means you should put your gi back inside, okay? And if he makes that gesture, it means he wants you to tie your belt. So you might have a loose belt, he makes that gesture, you need to fix right away, or even if it's loose, fix to get back. If he makes that gesture over here, it means that he wants you to circle around. Maybe somebody's pushing you out and you're not avoiding this. He wants you to circle around, not to get off the area so much. So he's gonna make that gesture, okay? A situation where the guy pull guard and you backing away, like I illustrated before here, he's gonna make that gesture showing that you should go towards your opponent. The same way, if somebody pulls guard without having any grips and stay on the butt, he's gonna make that gesture saying that you should stand up, okay? So this way to go towards the fighter, this way to stand up. So that covered the most important aspects from the rules, in my opinion. You guys are welcome to email if you have any further questions. I'm more than willing to help. It's easy to find me at FELIPECOSTA.com. And as I said in the beginning, I encourage everyone to take a look at the website and even look for the course, the referee course that they often give. I think these will give you a good understanding of the rules, but it's always better to get to know more and study so you don't make any mistakes due to the lack of information about the rules. I hope it helps you guys. See you next time.